Dead and Hip Hop album review, Joey Badass 2000. Before we get into the review, if you like this video, man, consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/Dead and Hip Hop. We are putting out exclusive content. We had a whole series we just wrapped up with our favorite artist, favorite project, and favorite artist, worst project. Classic album reviews, we do those as well. So yeah, check those out and, help support the show. Also, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, like button, leave a comment. If you're the 200 person, just drop 200 in there. All that stuff contributes to the overall engagement activity of the show. It helps us, man. So FIFO isn't here, Mike isn't here, but sitting in for them, we got Spike Lou.
Happy to be back.
Yeah, appreciate you coming back and joining us, brother. Real quick, just give the people a quick bio. What you doing?
Absolutely. I am Spike Lou from the On Deck TV show podcast we've been doing over the last 8 years. It's a Southern perspective on hip hop. So tap in every Wednesday and also another week in the books every Friday. Just a cultural show about black men. So happy to be here as always, sharing perspective with you guys and getting perspective. It's always fun.
Well, I just heard that you were going to do one of our shows full time.
Yeah, I can't wait. Football season. I can't wait to tap in.
So Dead in Sports is going to be on Dead in Sports?
Absolutely.
August 4th.
So happy. Absolutely. So I appreciate it, guys.
Joey Badass has been around for a minute. This is our, I guess a sequel, so to speak, from 1999, which was a mixtape, right? A mixtape that he dropped that he eventually released into an album. Quick to point out in the opening track that he's been gone for 5 years. And between those 5 years, he's been acting. We saw him on, was it Raising Kanan?
Yeah, Raising Kanan.
Yeah.
In the Power Universe.
Power series. He was actually really good on there.
He was.
So he's been doing a lot of things. He's definitely extended his career into other areas. Basically taking the Ice Cube, and Tupac, Will Smith type of blueprint formula. The last project that he dropped, you remember the name of that one?
Yeah, All Americans Badass.
All Americans Badass.
Came out in 2017.
Okay. I didn't like as much as his other stuff. This one, I like this one. I think on my first listen, B, one of the things that stood out to me, and I'm calling you out specifically.
He was like,
I was like, okay.
he put his phone down.
I know he'll get it. It's these motherfucking samples, bro. Like the producers and these samples that they were using, man. I was like, oh shit, I know that one. Oh shit, I know that one. Like just the second track alone made me feel. Oh my god, I was like, that shit was so fucking cold.
Static Selector, man. He was pretty much he handled majority of his production. Chuck Strangers also did a couple. He did the West Side joint. He did the West Side joint, and he did the joint with j.i.d on there.
He showed up too.
So yeah,
he showed up too.
He was good. We Spike, you don't know this, but we have a bit of history. Strangers. So.
I'm learning history. I'm learning this.
History. Yeah, man. So, but nah. Yeah, it was. But he did his thing on here, man. Overall, I thought this was a really, really, really solid album, man. I found myself enjoying more tracks than I disliked. This Chris Brown, was that Chris Brown singing?
Yeah,
that was surprised. I had to look that up when I heard. I was like, is that Chris Brown?
Yeah, I don't think I like that one. I don't know. It was the way he was singing on there. I ain't fuck with the Joey Badass brand new 911. I did fuck with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Larry June. I thought that was Larry June on that joint.
One of us.
Is that Larry June?
I thought he sounded different from that one.
He did for a minute.
Yeah, because I know FIFO. I know he just had our Friday battle against B. It was you that time, right?
Yeah.
And he won with Larry June, but I feel like he sounded a little different from what I've heard of him before.
You're right.
Okay.
His voice didn't sound as deep as it normally is. It sounded like, I don't know if they use an effect to make it a little bit
crisper.
It was really weird.
Sometimes MCs will kind of go with the track. Yeah. Sometimes
he wasn't as laid back as he usually.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like he had more up to it.
I thought I was tripping. I was like, I know I'm not too up on Larry June, but I know the stuff I had heard. It didn't sound like what I had heard before, so yeah, I thought that was a little different.
You're right. There was even I can't remember the song, a Dave Hollister sample That was you on it too. Yeah.
I think Survivor's Guilt. Survivor's Guilt.
Man,
when he was talking the track about capital C's, when he did, that track.
Yeah. Like the producers came with it. They digging for real. But overall, man, I really did enjoy this listen. I thought it felt like he came back refreshed. I think it was less political because he was trying to go into that political space.
The last album,
social comment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was welcoming to hear him talk about that stuff. I think it's important for artists to, in some form or fashion, document that stuff if it kind of fits who they are. I think he's one of those artists where, he can dabble in that, but, to kind of build a whole album, around that, I would have preferred less of, and I like what I got here. Even there was the song about him talking about like one of his boys can rap. Was that Survivor's Guilt?
Hey High.
Oh, you talking about that one because there's two.
Closer
so
to
not the one
like
Capital Steve's.
Okay.
But nah, Head High.
Yeah.
Head High was one of the singles. I think I told y'all. I can't remember if it was on a live or whatnot, but I didn't particularly care for most of the singles that dropped, so I wasn't too sure on this album.
So what did you think?
When I first heard it, man, it was hard for me to accept it or whatever. I do think it's good now, but I didn't think it when I first popped it on because I think I'm struggling with like wanting that 1999 from him.
Okay.
He hasn't. I don't feel like he's been able to capture that moment again. I feel like that was a very special moment for Joey Badass. That 1999 is damn near perfect, which is I'm sure why he did this 2000, very similar to it.
10 years later.
10 years later or whatever. So I think I was expecting it to sound like that. So when I popped it on, it didn't quite sound like that. Well, it didn't sound like that because 1999 was like a lot grittier, dustier, just very straight New York gutter, almost reminiscent of Nas. And I know he made a lot of references to Nas and the Godson and all that on here, but I still feel like he hasn't been able to capture that sense or whatever. So that's what I'm always searching for with a Joey Badass project. Once I got over the fact that that's just not, I don't know. Obviously he's more mature now. This has been 10 years later, so I can't expect him to go back to that. But I was like, you know what? This is a very solid project. This is a very mature project. I think you might have mentioned that. Very mature project from him. Yeah, man, he sounds grown up, and it's not so like you said, politically driven and stuff like that. Which I don't have a problem with that, but for some reason it just doesn't sound good on. But Joey, this sounds like Joey. This sounds like something. It sounds like a grown-up 1999 in a sense. So nah, man, I really liked it. Like I did catch a lot of the samples. Like, what is it, Meta at all? That's the one. That's the jam right there with that. The capital C's. Is that the sample? Is that the one that's on that song?
Talking about the Dave House?
Yeah.
I think that's the actual, on Survivor's Guilt.
Yeah, so that was
that's
dope.
when he was tripping to Capital Steve.
Yeah, Make Me Feel was dope. I like how he approached the track on The Baddest when he had Diddy talking and he just kind of came in spitting. I was just like, yo, that's that. Yo, I really like that.
Saying Kendrick and Cole is the Holy Trinity.
I was just like, okay, that's what's up. I didn't particularly agree with that,
right.
It was cool, bro. You put yourself up there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Those big shoes to fill. But that little piano that they was playing on that, man. And I think they kind of played that throughout the tape too, in different moments,
they did.
or whatever. So
that
was
Nas
dope.
was talking.
They had that same piano sample. So yeah, that was dope. I did notice like a J.I.D like Reasonable Doubt type flow on that.
Where I Belong.
He was the way on Where I Belong. So it was like, I was like, he got like a little J flow going on right there.
Didn't he do a little Mace thing the last days?
He did.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I
Definitely,
remember that.
I think he did a couple different flows on here. Like I noticed that. And Brand New 9/11, man, was dope. Like Griselda, I just feel like Griselda puts a fire under people, man. When they hop,
I feel like
hop
they got
on
to
the track.
rap.
Yeah, their influence is crazy, man. Like with some of the older rappers and stuff like that, I really like that one as well.
And Chuck Stranger did the beat on that.
Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah, so Eulogy was dope. Because I think Nas was on it, and then he was into Eulogy.
He was at the end of Cruise Control. Then
it goes to Eulogy. Eulogy was really
that's
dope.
one of my favorite joints on there too.
Yeah, man, this was solid, man. I'm with you on some of those kind of lighter songs, like the singy like type of lighter songs. I wasn't really feeling those like that, but they weren't bad. I just wasn't feeling them as much as the other stuff. But nah, man, overall, man, I think this was a solid release from him. And it's funny because I really didn't think that at first, but giving it a few more listens, I was like, you know what, I give it a joy, man. This is a good comeback right here. This is a good comeback. I still want that 1999, but I could settle for this. This is fine. But No, man, this is super solid. I thought the Survivor's Guilt track was interesting because I didn't realize that people was blaming him for the death of Steve.
But he said this is really his first time really talking about it.
I didn't know that.
Because he released albums and projects after Capital Steve's committed suicide, so he never talked about it. So this is really the first time he can like hash out on the track. So I thought that was dope. I thought that was really dope.
It was dope. It is dope. But that's pretty much my overall feelings of it, honestly though.
I remember hearing those singles and I was just like,
me too.
I wasn't super duper crazy over. I was still gonna listen to the album, of course, because it's been 5 years since we heard a Joey Badass project. But I just remember hearing those singles. I'm just like, I hope the album sounds, better than the singles, and it did. This is definitely a prime example. I feel where the singles don't sell the album enough, but then when you listen to the album, it's like, okay. Unlike you, right? I didn't go into it thinking like hoping a sequel of 1999 or him to kind of duplicate that sound, because like Cam mentioned, like it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years since the release of 1999. A lot has changed. A lot has changed for Joey Badass.
It's just like when you look at the cover, it looks very reminiscent to the 1999. So I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna go back for that sound. We still use Static Selected and stuff, but it's not the typical Static Selected beats, though. So,
this is definitely a more mature sounding Joey Badass. You know what I'm saying? I like the features that he had on here. With this, I'm with Ken. The Chris Brown is pretty. The Chris Brown joint. And the singles are really like the tracks I don't really care for that much. But yeah, the Larry June, One of Us was dope as hell. Eulogy, that's like one of my favorite joints on here. I love that joint. Even Cruise Control. Cruise Control was even cool. Dope with Mike Will Made It produced on that one. So yeah, the Baddest, he set it off nice with that smooth mellow. Yeah, it sets a maturity tone for the album when he start off that way. So the way the album start off, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is definitely he's setting the tone. With the way where Joey Badass been thinking, I feel like he closed the album really great. He could have he could have switched either song. He could have finished it with Survivor Guilt, talking about Capital Steve's, that'd have been dope, or and he finished it with Written in the Stars. But I feel like you can switch both of those, Survivor's Guilt or Written Stars, either or, and it's still been a great way to finish the album. Shout out to Sean V and LV, Sean C and LV for producing that Written in the Stars. If you don't know, they produced like damn the majority of American Gangsters. So shout out to them. It's good to see them. Still on behind the boards again. Y'all already know I love fucking j.i.d, man. j.i.d. I fucking love that dude. That him. I didn't know that was a collab I needed until I heard that joint. Because I was interested in how that shit was gonna sound, but then I can't believe I was questioning how J was gonna sound over Chuck Stranger's beat, and he fucking slid on that shit. But I think this album definitely showed the maturity of Joey Badass, just from the way he was rapping to the production style, you know what I'm saying? Him using a lot of old good R&B, old school samples that we was familiar with. I just think it just shows the maturity of Joey Badass. So yeah, I mean, I fucks with it. Like I said, with the exception of the singles and the Chris Brown joint, this is definitely an enjoyable list.
I enjoy the album. I think that Joey Badass did a good job as far as making music. Again, Make Me Feel. That's probably my favorite song to sample. Feel like he was rapping his best on there. And as I got through the album, Westside Gunn being on here, Chris Brown, Larry June, a lot of people that I enjoy, j.i.d, Diddy opening the album. The music was great, and I understand that Joey Badass is a good artist, but I kept asking myself, here come. Now, the music is great, but I just seen him on the Power Universe. And it's been 5 years since his last album. I was asking myself, well, why isn't Joey Badass a bigger star? Because he can rap well, and he's mentioning himself with J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar.
That's rap shit.
Rap shit, politics.
Everybody rapper gonna try to put themselves in the top five.
Just so you would mention them with that.
Like, okay, yeah, whatever, nigga.
Right, exactly. Because as you said, those are big shoes to fill, like Rod said. But as I'm going through this album, he makes good songs. He has good bars. He got the profile there from doing the TV shows. But I just don't think that he makes music that translate well. He's only 27 years old. I had to look that up. I thought he was in his 30s. Again, because I enjoyed the album.
He started off young. Yeah, he was really
17,
young.
right?
He was in high school. Yeah.
I wonder if kids his age listen to his music.
Probably
because
not.
Exactly, like when Drake drops a new single or when J. Cole does something, people that he's mentioning himself with, it moves the earth. The social media world per se, or what we saying. Y'all get what I mean. When Joey Badass does it, it's just like, a fart in the wind. Like,
See,
it
I
just
don't think that
goes
was
by.
ever, for me, I don't think that was ever his place though. Like when he dropped 1999, like obviously that wasn't for his peers. I won't say obviously, but that wasn't for many of his peers. I don't think we were drawn to it, and we were older than him, like
Right.
we were like 10 years plus older than him. So yeah,
I would have thought that too until I seen him doing the acting thing.
okay.
And I saw that he was trying to increase his profile doing the other stuff outside of music, but then the music comes in, it's just like normal in the sense of like, we enjoy rap music, hip hop. I don't think that he puts out music that registers with just an everyday average music person.
No, yeah, I feel that.
I feel like that Tyler Creator is what he should be. I feel like that Tyler gets more buzz.
Tyler
He gets
has a
nominated for
personality,
Grammys. I guess that's what Joey is missing, and I guess that's what I feel like he tried to add with the acting. So now that the music goes with it and it's good, it still doesn't impact the way that it should. I feel like based off his talent. Well, maybe he's just, like you said, saying he's better than he is, and I bought into it for a little bit. Mentioning himself with the greats.
You got caught up in that.
I guess so. But overall, when I'm talking about the album and what I enjoyed, I just think that he could have rapped a little bit more like we were talking about, or Make Me Feel. That was one of the songs that I definitely enjoyed. I enjoyed the energy that Westside, that Griselda brought with the brand new 911. That was dope to me. A little too much on the girly songs, trying to capture that audience. I feel like that he went to that well one too many times. You can give me 1, 2 of those songs maybe, but he went like 3 or 4, I feel like. Other than that, it was good music. I just don't understand why he doesn't translate more to be a bigger star, since his profile is out there with other stuff.
This man just said Joey Badass ain't shit.
That's what he said.
He
Kid.
said he put out quality
In so
albums.
many
Outside
words.
of that, nobody really
knows you,
damn,
bro.
bro.
Nobody knows
He
you,
said
bro.
you drop a project and the Twitter streets are quiet.
Quiet.
Like he just low key dissed Joey.
Like he walked in the cafeteria, people just kept eating. Like, I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
like, but it's interesting because I want to go back to the 1999 thing because I had the same mindset going in too, Rod. When I first listened, I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that shit anymore. Not from Joey Badass. Like, you wanted to hear 1999, but I'm like that boom bap stuff. Like, I'm like, man, what can he do different? Like, where's his other thing? Like, especially since he's been acting, he can rap, but like, are you gonna go back to that well again and try to make that type of music? We know the shit that you did after that, at least for the most part. I didn't like it, and I don't know how it resonated with other people. So what's your style and what's your play? Because if it's the old boom bap shit that went out of style, came back in style to a similar degree with Westside Gun, they kind of brought it back a little bit, but it's harder. That's not Joey Badass. So what type of music do you make? And with repeated listens, I started to kind of hear it. So, and it may have been more or less warped and shaped and molded by the music, the production, you know, and that maybe gave him a good foundation. All you had to do was just go in here and don't fuck it up. But yeah, it was like 1999, the one in the middle, I don't even know the name of it, and then here. It's like, which one of these is Joey?
What it is, yeah. What
You
is
know, and I didn't even think about just the social profile of Joey himself as a rapper, as an artist, putting out music. And where are those fans from 1999?
Yeah.
That is a good, those people
Right
that
here.
was, huh?
Right here.
I know, but when he was 17, are those 17-year-olds still listening to him 10 years later?
But see, I don't think it was 17-year-olds. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was his peers. I think it was people like
bro,
our
he made me
age,
so
around
old
our
head.
age. Yeah, he was. Like, he captured that sound. I remember that was one of our things about Joey. Like, he sounded like he could be placed in that era.
He did, or was he trying to bring it back, though?
I can't remember our exact
can't
take
remember
on
either,
it,
bro.
but I just remember it like, yo, this feels like fucking like almost like Nas
it
Illmatic
does.
type
It feels
shit.
like something that we would have grown up on in our era, even as 2000. And with that being said, I feel like that's part of his problem. You made me think of it. Like, he gets stuck in his box. Though we may not know what it is through those 3 albums, we can't really define it, but he gets stuck in, okay, I'm gonna do this and do this well, versus a big superstar like even Drake. I'm sure Drake didn't want to do a dance song, but he knows the pressure of being the #1 artist in the world, and Beyonce was coming with a dance album. So let me get this out here to keep my name in the stratosphere. I feel like the Joey Badass ain't going to do that enough, or doesn't do that enough. Let me step outside of the box of what I do well, try to do something that's gonna register with the masses.
I don't want to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't either. But again, I'm an old head, so I like what he's doing, and I like that he don't necessarily have to make that boom bap shit from 1999. Like, he's found a middle ground, so to speak.
Wow.
We're gonna get into favorite tracks before I wrap up, but I want to ask the guys that are young here. So Isaiah, Jalen, Kevin, you guys are 26, 27 in that age range. What's the word? I mean, we've been talking. Let's.
Honestly, 1999 that came out, and I was in high school, so I was his target audience, and I loved it. I bumped it all the time. Me and all my homies, like Quan, my other friends, we was like, yo, this is dope. Even as Southern people, it was just the vibe of it. I still rocked with it. Y'all know me, I'm very anti-Northern artist, but the Southern in me couldn't deny good music. After 1999, I tried to listen to Summer Nights. I wasn't as into it. And then started putting
Summer
out,
Nights didn't hit the same.
It didn't. Like, I still return 1999 like regularly, at least a couple times a year to listen to it. So when
what about his official debut album before?
hell nah,
My
man.
Money?
I was again, 1999, that was it for me with him.
Yeah.
Everything after that, I was like, bruh, this ain't really what I wanted from you.
Speed bumps.
to capture that same.
And that speaks to what Spike was saying.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah. So
interesting
I was glad to see he was making an album returning to that feel. So that's how I really look. Like, I really enjoyed the album from him. I think it was almost like a moment in time with him. Like it was a time capsule of an album that he made.
Yeah.
So it's hard to recreate. I try not to hold it against him when he can't keep doing the same thing I want from him.
I feel that.
As an artist, I wanted to make what he wanted to make. So I like this album. I like him as an artist. I think he's one of the best rappers out, honestly. But he never gonna get what he want to get from the culture. So.
He cool and I respect him, but I ain't looking for Joey Badass.
All right.
I think with the last album, All American Badass, I remember the first half. I remember the album sounded half. Like I remember one half sounded different, and then the second half sounded different. And I remember not liking the first half where he was trying something different, and I remember liking the second half of the album. I'm with Rod. Like I don't want him to really try something different because I mean he did, and I remember not liking that portion of the album of him making it. So
He can't take 5 years off between albums.
Damn, Spike.
Just saying, and brag about it. Like, bro, come on. He's like, you can't brag about taking 5 years off.
Man. He been acting. He been acting, man.
And that didn't help. That's what I'm saying. I think that's part of it. Like the acting is cool, and he did do a great job as Unique and Power. But like, you can't take 5 years off, bro. Like J. Cole don't even take 5 years off. Like, where you like? Come on.
That's hilarious.
All right, man. Let's do these favorite tracks.
This Spike having these.
Give me Survivor's Guilt, Make Me Feel. Give me the Wanna Be Loved joint. Brand New 911. And Written in the Stars.
Yeah, man. He definitely set it off with the baddest. That sample on Make Me Feel is undeniable. Eulogy. I like the way he closed it with Written in the Stars.
Wanna Be Loved, Eulogy, The Baddest, Survivor's Guilt, and Written in the Stars.
I'd take Make Me Feel. I'd also take Written in the Stars. Love the way he closed it. And Head High. I like the single and Survivor's Guilt.
Joey Badass, if you're watching, great return. You went off and dibble-dabbled in other areas, and I thought you were good in that area. So I think you definitely have a good second career available to you should you choose it, or primary career. You just make music on the side. I don't know, what your overall career objectives are, but just speaking strictly to the music, it was good to kind of hear you go back to return to form, but not in the way you did it 10 years ago, in more of a evolution of that style and with the modern day twist to it. And I think that was really dope in terms of finding dope beats that fit what you do well, and rapping really well over them. I think that was good, and kind of even just sticking with Status Selector was a smart choice to kind of go back to that well that especially given the fact that you were gone for 5 years. Now's not the time to kind of really experiment too much with a different sound. And now you can do that if you want to do that. But overall, solid project. I really enjoyed it. And keep doing your thing, bro.
That's hard to follow. That was really good if you're watching. Because I like when you said evolution of the style or whatever. I think that was a very good way to sum this up. And I'll just keep that going. Although I would like and wanted to hear that old 1999 style, I agree with Ken in saying like it was an evolution of that, a more mature sounding, a more mature sound of that, which is dope that you were able to find that pocket. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you just naturally found that pocket because you're older now, more mature. But you know, I don't know, man. When I saw the cover and just thinking back to how I felt when you dropped 1999, I just kind of wanted to hear it again. And I understand, like I said, that was 10 years ago, and you've grown since then, probably in a different headspace. You lost a dear friend, all of these things that's happened to you. You got a movie career or a show career, however you want to put it. Yeah, man, you're not going to be in that same mind state. And I think you found a way to like kind of cultivate what all that is and put it inside of an album. So, nah, man, this is really solid. This is a really solid project, and I definitely will return to it. I'm gonna give it some more spins and see, you know, it may make my list or something, you know what I'm saying? So although you're not like this big superstar, I don't even know if you aspire to be that. I know you made the thing, what did he say? Kendrick and who else?
Kendrick,
The Holy
Cole.
Trinity, yeah,
J. Cole.
Kendrick Cole.
I don't know if you should put yourself in that box. I mean, because that's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got your own thing going. You always had your own thing going. So just stick with that. Don't worry about what Kendrick, J. Cole and them doing, man. Like, don't worry about that shit, bro. Do you, man. Cause you get yourself fucked up that way. You get yourself fucked up that way.
Joey Badass, you watching, man. Solid project, man. You know, I like the growth and maturity, you know, that you were on this album from a rapping wise and production wise. I'm like in between where Rod and Spike when it comes to this album. I mean, it's definitely not like that star, that staying power, but you know, when you release projects, I'll always be curious and I always listen to them. So, but like I said, this one, I think you did good. I wasn't going in there expecting you to drop another 1999. I was kind of expecting you to be on your more mature shit because you was already wise beyond your years back then when you was 17 when you dropped 1999. So I was expecting the same as far as your maturity. So, but good job, man. This is a solid album.
Joey Badass, if you're watching, you have the opportunity to be one of the better rapper actors that have came. You just have to be able to juggle them more, not take 5 years off in between projects. For this project, it's evident that you're good at rapping, that you're great at what you do, and clearly you think a lot of yourself, mentioning yourself with the big dogs like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. With that being said, you gotta put more reps up. You gotta shoot in the gym more. People gotta be more familiar with how good you think you are, and them start thinking of you in the same way. But you can rap, you can do your thing as far as being a big personality in the hip hop world, and I support that. I think you put out a great project. Just need to see more of that if you're gonna get to that big dog level that you're speaking of a lot on this album. Overall, great project.